Pennsylvania
That
word.
sounds like a term that would just be for us, so it makes sense. That ball booted out of play
Half the
on
people
this
were
near
like, "Yeah, I
sideline.
get it," and the people listening in New York, we say hello to you. They're like, "What's he talking about?" A little chill in the air, so somehow that became chilly in Western Pennsylvania.
Joe Anderson will do the throw-in honors for Rochester, right in front of his own team's bench. And not far from where we are. We are between the benches
with one touch to allow Shanks to run down the near sideline. Shanks took it in. He attacked. Ocampo came over to support. 7:46 left in this one. Ocampo's goal has the Yellow Jackets up 2-1. Good rush. Really good rush.
The two guys we have seemed to highlight on that Rochester side.
The fresh legs work out for them, do they not? So now you got to go at it if you're CMU with
of the
That's
field.
a card.
And that will, in fact, be a yellow card.
Well, that should get you primed and ready for the football game tonight, because that certainly see that. That was like a tackle, and that's a deserving card. And now it's a good opportunity, 35 or so out, but right in the middle of the field on the free kick. So
I believe that was Moran who got written up for that. Panera Bread, also an official partner of CMU Athletics, has been named the healthiest fast food restaurant by Health Magazine. Choose Panera Bread for all your catering needs, tailgating, family gatherings, office meetings. No group is too small or too large. Panera Bread Catering for all occasions. Catering.panerabread.com.
was Tyler Moran with the card. First for Rochester.
Well, we'll boot it up the header, and it's good. It goes in, and it's all created by Baugh. Horwaller ties the game up, but a beautiful touch, beautiful elevation from Josh Baugh, and now things are even at 2 with just over 3 minutes remaining.
You see the thing, we talk about Josh Baugh making it happen, right? Getting touches. You could hear right around that card the coaching staff saying, come on, Baugh, get involved. He gets involved on the free kick. He gets it up there. We've seen 2 times